Hi YouTube friends, we're here today to talk about a product called LoopMount Twist. I reviewed their first product on my channel already, and this is their updated version, the LoopMount Twist. So in 2020, they released LoopMount 1, that I backed, and then in 2021, they released LoopMount Twist, the updated version based on a lot of feedback that I believe that they got, and then also now they probably had funding, they had some tooling, they probably had a lot of the things that you need at the beginning to get a company started up. Phone mounts are typically really ugly and bulky, in my opinion. I haven't found any that were really nice. They usually stick out quite a bit, and the only one that was really the more minimal one that I could find is a quad lock, but even then it requires you getting a special case. And I just don't like when things get proprietary like that, even though I understand that that would work like that. I just don't like being limited if I want to change case. So this product, LoopMount, offers something that's a little bit different. They offer a minimalist solution that's sleek, that's nice to look at, and that would be compatible with pretty much most bikes and most phones. So that was originally why I backed LoopMount 1. And was I satisfied with what I had? Not quite. If you go look at my review, it was actually quite positive, but then in the description I had updated, there were some issues I had, particularly with my bike and my setup. My phone kept popping out. So I have a Spigen case on this, and it managed to do a very good job at keeping my phone protected. I have thrown this thing across so many places and so many parking lots, and it's survived. It was quite frustrating that I would have to stop all the time on the bike path. It was pretty dangerous for me and everyone else, and just really not what a phone mount is supposed to do. It's supposed to keep the phone in the mount on the bike. Full disclosure, this was sent to me by the company for review. I actually am the one that reached out to them, not the other way around, because when I saw the new one, I wanted it. I just really wanted to try this new product and see if they basically could redeem themselves from the first one, because my experience with the first one was less than satisfactory, once again, for my bike setup. I have a road bike with zero suspensions, not even on the chair, nothing. So all of the absorption, all of the vibrations go right into the handlebars. I ride fast, and I ride on roads that sometimes are cobblestones, sometimes just have like cracks in them, and just any tiny minute vibration that maybe a bike with fat tires could withstand and absorb some of that shock, my bike could not, which would translate to it not working well. So I'm very curious to know if LoopMount 2, the LoopMount Twist, will solve those problems. According to them, they designed it for it to be working in many environments except for extreme environments such as BMX, doing jumps, mountain biking, things like that. So LoopMount comes in two colors, a matte silver and a matte black, so it could fit many different types of bikes in a visual way. And that's the whole point, because you want it to seamlessly blend into your whole bike setup and not stick out like a sore thumb. And it costs 69 US, 88 Canadian. It's shipped worldwide free as well. When you compare LoopMount 1 to LoopMount Twist, they look almost identical in terms of size, in terms of weight, in terms of design. The two big selling features for me on the LoopMount Twist versus the first one was that it had increased grip force, so up to 3 kilograms of grip force to hold and clamp down your phone in those bumpier conditions. And it also had a portrait mode, which the first one did not. And in my experience with the first one, maybe just because of how my bike is set up, or maybe how sensitive the gyrometer is on the Pixel 3, which I have right now, whenever I would hit certain bumps or maybe the incline, the map on the phone would sometimes just go back into portrait mode. Rather frustrating as an experience. Also, it just takes up more space on my handlebar. My handlebar is precious space. I have to have a light on there, I have a bell, I need my hands on there. Don't want to use up more space than I have to. So having a phone in portrait mode just works way better. There's little clamps here to hold your phone, and it pops out to fit your phone. There's also rubber. There's also a little bit of a lip here to prevent the phone from popping out, which the first version didn't have. When you're not using it, they close right back up. Just sits there flush with the shape of your round handlebar, if you have a round handlebar. And it just looks great on it. It doesn't look out of place. It's not this random clamp just waiting for a phone to be stuck in there. So I don't always use a phone to explore. Actually, most of the time I don't, because I pretty much have set trajectories. I know where I'm going. I'm on a bike path. But then when I want it, it's there. So here's the special thing. This is your handlebar. It's on here, and now it's in portrait mode. Flip it back. I mean, if you don't care about how it looks and you always use your phone in portrait mode, you could just leave this on your handlebar like this and it would look like that. But if you want it to be sleek, you can always turn it back. You can hear that very nice clicking. It's pretty sturdy. It doesn't come with very much things because it's not the most complicated thing to set up. So what's included in the box is everything you need to install your loop mount onto your bike. And that's bolts, the loop mount, an Allen key, a thin shim, a medium shim, and a thick shim that fit different handlebars. It could also be installed on the stem, on the top tube. What bikes does it fit? Like I said, it fits generally most bikes. Of course, you can always have exception and edge cases of bikes it doesn't fit. I have an old vintage bike, it fits perfectly on it. It fits basically any round handlebar that is between 22.2 to 31.8 millimeters, and that's where you have the different shims that will allow you to install on different ones. If you have a Brompton bike, you can also buy a separate adapter for that so that it can fit on there. It is with elastic kind of bands, however, so it would make it a lot easier to steal. But if you have that type of bike, I'm assuming you're probably bringing it around with you anyway because it's so portable, so I don't think that's too much of an issue. If you want to see if the LoopMount Twist fits your bike exactly, I will link in the description down below directly to their website, which gives you all that information because there's so many possible mini variations and tweaks. So just measure or know the size of your bike and where you want to install it and then see if it fits or not. In terms of what phones it can fit most phones. Now, if you have a big military style type of case like the Otter Defender, it's not gonna fit. It'll fit even the max size phones. Measure it out. So it will fit phones up to 85 millimeters wide, up to 14.5 millimeters thick, including the case. The installation is really simple. Let's go down there and then swap out my LoopMount 1 and install the LoopMount 2. So I've used the LoopMount Twist 2 for about a month, I think, but not every day because that's the beauty of it. I use it once in a while, but I'll be honest, I was a little scared of actually putting in my brand new Samsung S22 in there, LoopMount version 1, where my phone, my Pixel 3 kept popping out. Has the stronger clamp force as well as the little lip edges at the top of the clamp. It helped secure and fix the problems from the first one. Yes. Now I would still be careful about not going on crazy curbs and bumps, but even when I did actually go on dicey terrain, especially with my 23 millimeter wide road bike tires that does not absorb any vibrations and shocks whatsoever, my phone actually held up. In general, when I'm biking, I will try to avoid all of those cracks on the road as much as I can. But I'm pretty happy that I was using it in many different contexts and different roads, and it was holding up quite well. Now, will it still pop up at some point? It's not gonna be as strong as all these other ones that I've seen, like Moment or just any Quad Lock, I believe, that are very, very sturdy, but those are meant for very different scenarios and situations. But I haven't had any issues using this in the urban settings I've used with a road bike. And if you don't have a road bike and you have a little bit of a wider tire and some sort of shock absorption, you're absolutely fine using this. You will probably never have a phone pop out because your ride is going to be just so much smoother. So what did I like and what I did not like? Well, what I liked is that it's sleek, it's there when I want it, and it's not there when I don't want it. I actually have a friend that wants to get it too because she saw me use it and she was like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's easy to install, it's easy to use. The build quality is amazing. It's full metal construction, it's sturdy, and it feels premium. Now, what I did not like with it is one-handed operations is a bit difficult with it. For example, if you're at a stoplight and you want to pull your phone out for whatever reason, it's very hard to put it back in. I find I definitely have to use two hands. Maybe there is a way to do it one-handed. I just haven't really figured it out because that clamp force is pretty strong now. Makes it a little bit difficult, but it's not really a major issue because I can still operate my phone if I wanted to while it's on there. And anyway, when I'm biking, I'm not really messing around with my phone all that much personally. So, but it's something I wanted to mention because it's happened once or twice where I did pull the phone out and then I had difficulty putting it back in. So who would this be for? This is for somebody that doesn't need necessarily a bike phone mount all that often. It could also be for someone that wants to use it all the time. But I find that it works better for those occasions because in these situations, I don't need the sturdiest, best bike phone mount. I just need one that works really well, which it does, and that I can occasionally use, and best of all, have it blend right back into my bike when I'm not using it and not have this thing poking out of my bike, which I just find hideous and distracting. It's not gonna be for somebody that wants the best phone mount possible. I don't think that's necessarily what they would be branded as, because they even say don't use it for mountain biking or if you're jumping with your bike, because that's just not going to really hold up. I wasn't able to fully take my phone and lift my entire bike, but I was able to lift it, I think, a tiny bit. So it was holding quite well. Based on that, I feel like it can absorb quite a bit of shocks. You'd be pretty surprised, but it's not meant for any extreme scenarios. I would say it's also, you know, for somebody that really does care about looks and function rather than just function. It's a premium item for a more premium audience that wants something nice and sleek and well built and innovative. And that blends really well in more of an urban environment, I would say. That's it for me. That's it for the LoopMount Twist 2. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Comment, let me know if you're planning on getting this or what your bike phone mount situation is or other just bike accessories. Maybe there's one that I haven't considered actually. That's always interesting to find out new products. Like this video if you found it interesting or helpful, and also just like, you know, feeding the algorithm, it'll help quite a bit. And share it, subscribe if you haven't already. I like to optimize life through product reviews, how-tos. I also like making coffee and reviewing all sorts of things related to coffee and doing it all while having fun. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.